Hi. I want to, first of all, tell you how sorry I am that I can't be there today. This is not meant to be any reflection on my feelings toward the family or any disrespect toward Genevieve. This is circumstances that simply don't allow me to be there in your presence. And I think that you're gathering there today and you're resurrecting this very healthy spirit of Genevieve in a very positive way is going to be helpful. I think all of you will take away from this a beginning to a healthy grieving process. That's something I will miss. But I think we all grieve in our own way. And certainly, this is a big loss for all of us. One of the things that was so powerful about Genevieve was the way she made me feel so unique. She made me feel like our relationship, hers and mine, was just something so special. And it wasn't until much later on I realized that she did that with everyone. She just made them feel special. And that was an important and wonderful grace about Genevieve. I want to make one comment about what Genevieve did for me. There was a lot, but there was one thing in particular, and I think I'd like to share that with you. Not very long ago, I became a Christian. And not long after that, I became reborn. They're very separate things, and I won't go into that right now, but for me, it was a miraculous transformation. It was something that just was a total transformation for me. But as much as it was a spiritual pursuit, it was an intellectual pursuit. It wasn't just something I wanted to feel, it was something I wanted to know. If it was my genealogy, if I was really a son of God, if I was really an heir to the throne, then I wanted to know about my family, my father, and my brother, Jesus. So for 3 years, I studied at a Christian university online, and every morning to this day, for the last 7 or 8 years, I have read the Bible faithfully. And it left me with one conflict that Genevieve resolved. I'm sure you're all familiar with the story in Mark where the father brings his very ill son to Jesus and pleads with Jesus and says, if you want to, you can heal him. And Jesus looks at this man sort of befuddled and says, have you not been looking at me, man? I'm raising people from the dead. If. He said, with belief, anything is possible. And the guy has said words that have echoed down through 2,000 years. And I think are relevant to all of us. He said, oh, I believe. Help my unbelief. And there I was. Until a year ago when I got a call from Angela. And Angela has been so gracious in keeping Christine and I appraised of Genevieve's condition over the years. That she's just been wonderful in that regard. And we're so very grateful for all that she's done. And we're so thankful she's in our life. But she called and she said, this was pretty bad. Genevieve was in the Presbyterian hospital. Mom was coming up. It looked like a pretty severe situation, and if I could, I should get there. This was a year ago. And so I did. I made my way all the way to New York, and couldn't afford a hotel, but it didn't matter. I stayed right in the room with her at Presbyterian. I just got in a chair, and when she was awake, I was awake, and when she fell asleep, I slept. And for 2 days, I stayed in that room, and I made my presence known to her. That was why I was there, to let her know I loved her and that I wanted to be there with her and for her. And then I left and I came home. And I came home to that same singular conflict that resonated throughout my spiritual experience. And that was image and likeness. I'm sure that those of you who've read the Bible at all or know much of the Bible know that we are built in the image and likeness of God. And clearly, some people have distorted that to think God has eyes and ears and a gray beard and pretty good muscles. And they've lost what that really means. And I wanted to know just one element. Show me one element of my image and likeness to God. And it was as I interacted with Genevieve over that next year that I became profoundly aware of that element of image and likeness. Genevieve's spirit and desire to live was so powerful that she could pull herself up from certain death, regroup, put on her best shoes, and go to dinner in Manhattan. Because in Genevieve's mind, there was no such thing as giving up. There was no quit. Her spirit told her that she was supposed to be alive. Her spirit didn't know that there was anything like death. And it was in that I realized what she was saying. In all of us, we have a spirit of immortality. We don't plan for death, we plan for life. We build towering empires and then leave them to people we don't know. We don't think of ourselves as dying. We think of ourselves as living. It's like the old joke. You read in the paper, a man 92 years old suddenly died unexpectedly. And Genevieve just was the very definition of the spirit of immortality. And she resolved that conflict in me. Because in that one element of human behavior, we can find our likeness to God. We don't understand dying because the greater part of us, the spirit that lives within us, our soul, has no concept of death. We have a brain that's an organ and a mind that's a thought. And inside of that, there is this phenomenal process of spirit. And in that spirit, we are immortal. And that is, in fact, one of the most significant likenesses to God. We are all going to miss Genevieve. But we are all also going to take with us a huge part of Genevieve. And I think for everybody it'll be a little different. But for me, it's going to be the fact that she made me feel like I was special. And she solved the single biggest riddle in my Christian conflict. I hope you all have a joyous day. I hope that today brings about the beginning to a very healthy closure. I miss you. I wish you well. And I pray God blesses your life. Thank you.